taking a power nap. What does that have to do with diabetes management? Well, you're going to find out. Here we go. Take a nap after lunch. Well, I'm too busy, I'm at work, then take one when you get home. And by the way, if you're going to take one right after lunch, I would say first exercise for about 15 minutes and then take your nap. Okay? Got to get it in the right order. So listen to advice, accept instruction. In the end, you're going to be counted among the wise. And when you walk, these teachings, this wisdom teachings, they will guide you. When you sleep, yeah, we're supposed to sleep. They will watch over you. When you awake, they'll speak to you. I want to give you an example of someone who took a nap. It was on the Sea of Galilee. That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. And there were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. And you can see the waves there. Well, Jesus was in the stern sleeping on a cushion, and he was taking a nap. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" It might have been something like this. This is the Sea of Galilee during the storm. They're out there on this little boat. He's in the stern. He's taking a nap during this. So during a storm, he's taking a nap. And one of the things that I think is a key for this, Jesus taught wisdom, and he always had wisdom on his mind. And that is what we need to do. Because if we do, then we're going to be able to, as Proverbs 3:24 says, we're going to have our sleep will be sweet. And we'll go to bed not afraid. Now this is Winston Churchill. Nature has not intended mankind to work from 8 in the morning until midnight without that refreshment of blessed oblivion, which even if it only lasts 20 minutes is sufficient to renew all the vital forces. We could add more than nature, but wisdom, God's wisdom, would condone taking a nap as seen with Jesus. Seen with Jesus. Now someone might ask, give me one good reason why I should nap. And if someone might be asking that, and someone might be saying, lazy people take naps. What are you doing taking a nap? I mean, I can just hear that. But all I'm talking about is a 20-minute nap. That's called a power nap. Dr. Sara Mednick, in her book, Take a Nap, Change Your Life, she gives 20 reasons why we should take a nap. This guy's asking, give me one good reason why I should nap. She's got 20. Some of the reasons relate to diabetes self-management. The 9th reason she gives is that sleepy people are more susceptible to junk food cravings. Whoa. And if it's junk food cravings, that means it's loaded with carbohydrates, isn't it? So you need to have the right balance of hormones, and sleep does it. Someone might say, help. Dr. Mednick reports that sleeplessness causes hypertension. But during sleep, blood pressure decreases. So when you remain awake longer than normal, your blood pressure remains higher than normal. And this can also result in a higher risk for strokes. And when we deprive ourselves of sleep, we enter a period of overdrive and need extra energy to support physical functions. We can become irritable, angry, depressed, mental exhaustion. And her number 15 is this: a nap can reduce stress. And stress and anxiety are the results of cortisol being produced in the adrenal gland. And so don't worry, start napping. Cortisol is called a counter-regulatory hormone. And it usually shows up when you're under a lot of stress. And counter-regulatory means that your insulin, it causes a resistance to insulin in your body cells. And so however amount of insulin you have produced or you're taking will not be as effective. You need more to counterbalance that cortisol. Well, guess what? Sleep, a nap, they help. They help keep it in balance, keep the cortisol level down. Now, look at this. Just look at these examples. I would never doze. Slight chance of dozing, moderate chance of dozing, high chance of dozing. What? Sitting and reading? Watching TV? Sitting inactive in a public place? A meeting or a theater? Are y'all awake? Are y'all doing okay? Riding in a car as a passenger for an hour without a break? We're not listening to the radio. Would you become drowsy? Could you? Here's some more. Lying down to rest in the afternoon. Well, I hope so if you're lying down to rest. Sitting and talking to someone. Have you ever, maybe the other person's doing all the talking and you're trying to stay away. Sitting quietly after lunch when you've had no alcohol. Sitting in a car while stopped in traffic. I mean, you're just sitting there. And have you ever kind of get a little drowsy there? Well, many people aren't getting enough sleep. 1 in 3 adults reports they sleep an average of 6 or less hours a night. And drowsy driving is an ever-present danger. Some statistics point that 1 in 25 adult drivers report falling asleep while driving the previous 30 days. You're driving along and become a little bit drowsy and you shake. You drifted just a little bit. If someone drifts too long, it can be bad. Let me give you an example. What was that guy's seatbelt? Yeah. It wasn't on him, was it? That can happen, and it happens a lot. Too much. You don't want to be one of them. You might be, I don't know, like Yogi Berra. He said, he used to play for the New York Yankees. I usually take a 2-hour nap from 1 to 4. 2-hour nap from 1 to 4. What is the optimal length of time for a nap? Of course, there's various lengths. They bring different beneficial results. And if you have time to nap like Yogi, you would sleep through all the stages of sleep, the different parts of sleep. Here's a way to go about doing it according to Dr. Mednick. He wrote the book about taking a nap, change your life. It's easier than you think. So the idea was just try to do it in a darker place and quiet. Don't have a bunch of music or the TV on, all of that. Just quietness. And make sure you're warm. Don't be cold, all that. And have proper posture. You don't have to lay flat on your back in bed. You can actually do it in a chair. And then don't be eating a bunch of food right with, drinks like coffee for several hours before you try to take a nap. According to a recent study, one way to remedy the negative effects of a poor night's sleep is to just take a short nap the following day. So if you discover, oh, I just didn't sleep well last night at all, well, make sure sometime during the day you try to get a 20-minute nap. And you'll take care, you'll compensate for what happened the night before. Here's an example, but I want to get closer to this one right here, so let's look at that. 20 minutes power nap. You get an energy boost, and it's easy to wake up. If you sleep longer than that, then you're beginning to go into different stages of sleep. And then when you wake up, it's hard to wake up. You've got this groggy feeling. And so you're in light sleep. One of the ways to think about light sleep, imagine a maintenance crew. They're working during the light stage of sleep. The body maintenance is at work during light sleep, keeping a perfect balance, a homeostasis of all bodily functions and hormones. Light sleep is important because it comprises about 50% of the sleep each night. And with a lack of sleep, several hormones that affect weight will not be in balance, such as leptin, ghrelin, and one is a feel full hormone, the other is a feel hungry hormone. Well, if you don't get them in balance and you end up having the feel hungry hormone, more of it, well, what's that going to cause? Eating more. So sleep is very important for the right body weight, and that affects your blood sugar and the resistance to your insulin also. And so light sleep, the body maintenance is occurring by regulating metabolism and keeping a proper balance in the hormones. So that's very important. So that's where nap comes in to play. And of course a good night's sleep too. So